Hi and hello everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Nima and this is Here is Nima, where we talk about all things fashion, beauty, lifestyle, feminine essence, feminine energy, self-love, and development. So welcome back. I just wanted to film a part 2 to this video because I got a lot of feedback in my Instagram comments, and I got just, feedback from friends who had seen it or, just wanted to speak on the topic. And I don't know, it just made me kind of think more about the things that I wish I had the time to say in the first video, but didn't have the time to say because, as you guys can see, I was in the car and I was on my way to where I was going. Even today was another busy day. It's a busy life, but I am really trying to just make more time for filming and sharing my thoughts with you guys. So, yeah, I did my little walk today. That's why I still have my workout clothes on. I'm just relaxing on the couch at home, having these little, and I'm just going to share like one little treat that I'm having. These are the coconut macaroons from Trader Joe's. And y'all know I am a Trader Joe's girly. Like, I love Trader Joe's. I live and love for Trader Joe's. Okay, so if you haven't tried those, you definitely need to try them. That's my last one, so I'm gonna try to savor it, okay? Because I usually will have like 2 or 3 as like a dessert. But all that to say, guys, okay, that I just, yeah, I just had to make a part 2 for this video and talk more about the differences between high earners and providers and my thoughts on it because, like I was saying in the video, high earners, we know them, you may love them, you may not. I'm going to be very honest and candid and say that I have dated a lot of high earners, especially, like these last several years, kind of like after I graduated from college and kind of just like woke up to a lot of different information that I didn't necessarily like know before. Like, I feel like growing up, I always knew that I wanted to date somebody who, was kind and, was college educated and wanted to, or like was working and who was gonna, have a good job or make good money. I didn't even know what that meant back then. I just didn't have a concept of a lot of the things that, obviously in adulthood you gain a concept of. I knew that obviously like a guy who was in college, just like I was in college, a guy who was studying for something lucrative, was going to be a better for me, knowing that, even back then I knew that, whenever I did decide to get married and have a family and things like that, that I definitely would want to have the option to be like a stay-at-home mom and things like that. So even back then, that was something that was in my mind. But yeah, that's kind of the extent of it. I didn't think much about anything else besides that. I just knew that, I wanted to be with somebody who really loved me and cared about me. And, of course, who, was going to have the means to be a provider, but I didn't really I didn't know like where the gaps were. I was in and out of a few different relationships, but I mean, of course, nothing ever stuck. And I mean, I'm still single to today, as you guys know. And, I'm kind of at the point where I think in the past I've tried to settle. I've tried to settle, like not, of course, I would never have admitted that at the time. But I did try to settle because I do want to be married. I do want to be in a relationship. Obviously, I'm a human being. I do want that commitment and all of those things. But it just never worked out for me. Like, I could not be with a man who was not, in alignment with me and my reciprocal, especially when it came to roles in a marriage, in a relationship, because at the end of the day, like, I am super crystal clear on what I want. And obviously, nobody's perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect, okay? I know that whenever that time comes and I do get married and I am in that relationship, I am going to have a lot of things that I'm going to need to work on as well, okay? Because the thing is, you're never going to be fully healed. You're never going to be fully ready for, a marriage or a relationship or to be with somebody. There is no such thing. So we're always learning, we're always growing, and you can only do so much when you're single, right? There's only so much like personal growth and healing and all of those things that you can do when you're single. But when you get to be with somebody else and they have all of their experiences and their personal baggage and all their stuff that they're bringing into this thing, and it's two of you coming together to make a life together, that's a completely different thing. Nobody can prepare you for it. You don't even know what that's going to look like, because you may or may not even know who that person is. And there's no way to know what the future holds when it comes to that. All you know is that it's going to take some time. It's going to take some growing. There's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be, some things that you have to kind of get over, and you kind of have to get through and deal with internally with yourself and all of those things to be able to come together and have that, healthy and, happy and satisfying marriage and relationship. And I think that it just takes time. It's normal. It's natural. It's nothing weird. But all that to say, I don't know why I even went off on that tangent, but that's where I'm at in my life. And you guys know that I don't really believe in the whole boyfriend-girlfriend thing either. So I will not be coming on and sharing with you guys that I have a boyfriend, because those days are long gone, honey, and they ain't coming back. So basically, if I'm not engaged to be married, you will be hearing that I'm single, okay? So just want to put that out there, because I do want to come on and I do want to make more relationship content and like dating content. I'm not a relationship coach. I'm not even a dating coach. I'm literally just a girl on the internet sharing my thoughts. So don't come at me. Don't come for me. Just come with me and like, let's laugh and let's drink wine and eat coconut macaroons and let's just chit chat, okay? So anyways, I digress a lot, but back to the topic. That is kind of my background and like what I always thought of when I thought of men and the kind of men that I wanted to date and the kind of men I wanted to be with, etc., etc., etc. So after college is when I kind of, was just dating different types of people. I think when I was in college, that was like my first real experience actually dating. And mostly I dated guys that were same age as me, in the same situation in life. We were all in college. We were all around the same age. Maybe they were a year or two older, and that's about it. Except for like my senior year, where I dated a guy who was like 4 years like older than me. He was 4 years like post-grad. So I think he was like 26 or maybe 5 years, 26 or something like that. 4 to 5 years. So anyway, that was about it. And so anyways, that was like kind of like my experience back then. And then after college, I just, I just kind of feel like I blossomed in a way, because, you're still kind of a kid in college. And then, I was like, I just felt like I was a young adult. I was a young lady. I was out dating and I was doing my thing and I was cute. And I mean, I still am. I'm saying was like in the past tense, because I'm thinking of like 22-year-old me, 23-year-old me. But, that was it. Like, that was me. And that's kind of where my mind was at. And I was just like, as long as he, has a good job and he's college educated, like that'll be fine. He loves me and he's kind and we can be friends and we can laugh and we can have a good relationship. And don't get me wrong, all of those things are important. But, obviously now at this point in my life, and having, had a lot more experience in dating and relationships and things, my thoughts are, a little bit different. And I've seen a lot, and I'm not like, I've experienced a lot personally, but then also my friends and through other people that I know and that I'm able to learn from, right? Like, I don't have to make all the mistakes in the world just to know better. You don't have to make all the mistakes in the world just to know better, okay? Like, you can actually learn from other people. You can actually learn and like know better from seeing other people and their mistakes. I learned from my parents' failed relationship, okay? Because they have not been together since I was 3. I mean, like, my mom is a single mom. My dad, he was always in our lives and everything, but like they were never together. So I learned from that situation. I learned from my family members and their failed relationships. I learned from the successful relationships. I just take from everything. Friends, family friends, all of the things, my own personal experiences, the experiences of even the people that I've dated. Even the people that, I continue to get to know, and people that I meet. Like, there was literally a guy, when I used to speed date. um, like, it's funny because you only have 5 minutes, but like in 5 minutes, you can actually share so much with someone. And this guy was telling me, and he was so young too. He was like 26 or maybe 27. And he was telling me how he was divorced, and, they had no kids or anything like that. But he was telling me like the whole story behind how they were divorced. And it's just crazy. It's just crazy, like certain things that people go through. And you might not think that like they have been through such a thing, maybe because of their age or because of, their station in life or whatnot. But all that to say, you know, this what we got going on right here is not for the faint of heart. So if you are single and you are actively dating, or if you are single and you are in a position where you have been there, done that, kind of like how I'm feeling right now, been there, done that, you're ready to just meet the right person and start your life with them, and you don't really need all of that chaotic stuff out there. You don't need the drama, you don't need the back and forth, you don't need all this crazy stuff out here. You're kind of on a different level. Sometimes I feel like when you hear about people dating, it's like the advice, quote unquote advice, that you get a lot is like, oh, well, you should put yourself out there, and like you should, it helps you to learn what you want and know what you don't want. And for those of us that have been in the game for a little while, we already know that, yeah, that's basically some bullshit. That's like the most cliche advice that anybody can give you. And I'm sorry for cursing, but that's like the most cliche advice that anybody can get you, because like most women that are actively dating are putting themselves out there. Most women that are actively dating and actively like out here just, being their best selves, elevating themselves in their single season and whatnot, are usually not like homebodies and like are just in the house, like not doing anything. Like they're out, they're involved in their communities, they're beautiful, they're educated, they're great catches, and they just so happen to be single. So if you are out here and you are in this rigmarole, jiggy jungle out here, I just want to extend my love and extend my, just all the good things, all this prosperity, all of the good feelings, like all of the positivity, all of the things, because it is not easy. It is not for the faint of heart. And everybody always wants to say, oh, well, marriage isn't easy. Oh, well, relationships aren't easy. But, life is not meant to be easy, not every part of it. And being single, while it does have, there are advantages, just like there are in everything. There are advantages in being in a relationship and being married. And there's also disadvantages, or maybe what people might view as disadvantages, or I guess things that are not as easy to do, when you were single, right? Same as being single. You have your pros, you have your cons. Such is life, guys. Such is life, okay? When it comes to dating a high earner versus a provider, like I said in my previous video, provider is more so like a mindset. And this is what I did not know when I was younger and I was dating, and I kind of, nobody ever taught me these things. These are things that I really did have to kind of go out and seek out and like learn information, because the thing with me is like anything that I want to know and I want to achieve for myself, I want to improve upon, or anything like that, like this is the nerdy side of me. I will go into research mode. I will go into, I have to find out answers. I have to know the psychology. I have to know this. I have to know that. And so I have done that with relationships, and I still do that with relationships. I'm a nerd about femininity. I'm a nerd about feminine alignment, and a woman's body, and being in alignment with my body and my soul, my spirit, like all of those things, and just being the healthiest version of myself that I can be, and deconditioning myself from a lot of this programming and things like that we have really grown up in, especially in Western society, but really even in Eastern society, and in Africa and Asia and all over the world, just with the shift, through fourth wave feminism and all of those things. And I'm not going to go off on a tangent in this video on a different topic, but understanding that a man being a provider is a mindset is something that I did not know before. And I guess I just always kind of assumed that if a man had money and he cared about me and he loved me, then it's a given. Of course, he's going to be providing. Of course, he's going to be doing all of those things. But I feel like the two things that I failed to realize was A, because of the socialization of our society, a lot of men are not thinking that. They're not thinking that women are expecting them to be 100% full-on providers, even in marriage, because a lot of women are not. You know, there are women that do, and there are women and families that do operate like that, but there are a lot of women that also don't, as we know. Okay, as we know, and I would even say that that's probably the majority. Okay, and so number one, there's a lot of men that don't fully realize that. That's up to you as a woman to state that and make that known, as something that you want, that you are looking for in your next relationship, in your marriage, in, you know, that commitment and what comes along with it, and being with me, you know, letting him know that, yes, that's something that it is really important to me. It's really important to me that I'm with a man who actually wants to take care of his family financially, and also, you know, just physically being there, you know, being there emotionally, you know, caring about me, caring about our future children, wanting to create a happy, healthy, safe home, you know, and that security. And, you know, I want to even just share this with you guys. And I learned this, and it has always stuck with me. And it's something that I always think of when I think of my future husband and kind of the man that I would want to be with. And it's literally the word husband. And the word husband in the English language actually means the band around the house. The husband secures the home. So if you're with a man and you do not envision him as a husband, being a husband, which means that he is securing the home, that means he's protecting the home, he's providing in that home. That home is a home because he is the security. He is that foundation. He is there to make it a home physically and secure it. Okay? Now, as a woman, you know, this is where we come in on the other end, right? It's not about us being equals. It's about us coming together to complement each other and be not equals, but what is the word? It's escaping me, and I say it all the time. But to be basically, and I always do this, but the word is escaping me. Not be equals, but be counterparts, I guess. That's not the word that I'm thinking of, but reciprocal. That's right, reciprocals. So he's doing this part, you're doing this part. It's two different things, but it comes together to make the full entity, the full picture, right? As a woman, you know what you bring into a man's life. You know what your worth truly is. And if you don't know, then that's something that obviously what we talk about on this channel, we are all into self-development, self-love, self-worth, and understanding what that truly really means. As a woman in the home and in a man's life and in a family structure, what you bring into that home, and you truly do make it a home, right? Like, you are the heart. You are the one who sets the tempo, sets the beat in that home, in that space, okay? You make the weather in that space. It could be a rainy day. It could come out and be a sunshiny day, okay? That's a woman's power. And just like we hear the saying, like, oh, well, we know that if mama ain't happy, nobody's going to be happy. Well, that's where that comes from, guys. And we know that to be true because we all had moms. And if you are a man watching, because I know I do have some men that watch my channel, even though this one's for the ladies, just saying. But you would know that because you have women that have raised you. Maybe you have sisters, aunts, what have you. So we know that that's true. Ladies and gents, we know that's true. So understanding that is really, really key. And I feel like when it comes to dating a high earner versus dating a provider, like understanding that verbalizing what you want and what your expectations are when it comes to money and finances is not bad. And like I mentioned in my last video, we've been taught that talking about money is bad, it's a negative thing. And I was there to say, listen, talk about money, talk about it in a professional sense, talk about it in a relationship sense, talk about it with your friends, talk about it. Because the thing is, it's money is not, it's not a scary thing. It's a means to an end. We need money, and we need to know what we're working with when it comes to the money. So if you have debt, like, I am not ashamed of any of my debt. Like, I've gotten rid of that. I've done my inner work on that. I used to feel really bad about debt because I grew up, just learning that debt was bad, and it was one of the worst things that you could do was be in debt. And I used to be really, really scared by debt. But now I feel like, you know what, I'm in debt, and honestly, debt has helped me. Debt has helped me to graduate from college. Student loans, credit card debt has helped me get out of multiple, situations where I did not have the funds to cover what I needed. I.e. tires, i.e. books for school, even paid for vacations, paid for, food, paid for different things that at that time I may not have had the money for otherwise. And guess what? I've paid it back, okay? And I'm continuing to pay that money back because money, it circulates and it comes back around again. And it's not something that scares me. And I think I shared this in a previous video, and I would not consider myself to be a high earner at all right now. But I have made more money every single year that I've been working. And if anybody asks me like how much I make, I'm not shy to share that. And if I don't want to share the exact number, then I would share a range, because sometimes depending on the situation, I do that as well. And I've had people also give me a range. And the thing is, even a range is better than just a shot in the dark. And then of course, as you get to know somebody, like me and my best friends, I know how much they all make. They know how much I make. It's not a big deal. And if I'm ever dating anybody and they ask me how much I make, I'm obviously not shy to say that. Now, and what I've seen and what I've heard and what I've experienced is not just me, friends of mine, different people that I've had conversations with the same topic with have told me that the men that they've dated or the men that they're with have, at a certain point, like, been open and been very, willing to show them how much they have, if they own a home, prove that they own it, show actual proof that they are who they say they are, they do what they say they do, and they make the money that they make, which is awesome. And I feel like if you are with a man who is giving you a really hard time and doesn't want to tell you how much he's making, or doesn't want to share more information about finances with you, how much debt he's in, what his financial situation is looking like, I feel like that's a red flag. I don't believe in building a future with someone, or even thinking about building a future with someone who cannot even be upfront and honest about such a thing. When you look at marriage, we know that marriage is a legally binding contract, and finances do matter. And because they matter so much, they need to be talked about. Point blank, period. And yes, a big part of that is how much are you making? And like I mentioned in the last video, it's not to judge someone. A man can be a provider on any income, virtually any income, okay? It's up to him. It's up to his drive. Back in the days, and I don't know, y'all, maybe some of you guys were living in this time. I feel like this was a little before my time, but I remember, watching shows like Everybody Hates Chris, and I remember how his mom would literally, she would get a little job here and there, and she would quit all the time and be like, I don't need this. My man has 2 jobs. Y'all remember that show? I don't need this. My man has 2 jobs. And back then, obviously, I was a kid. I didn't even know what she meant by that. But I just knew, I'm like, okay, well, she could quit because obviously her man got 2 jobs. But that was very common back then. Men would literally work 2 jobs to provide for their family and afford their wives to be able to be stay-at-home moms. And if she did choose to work, that was still her money. And that's my philosophy, hey, any income that I'm bringing in is not meant to be a means for us to live on. It is an addition into our household. I personally am not with the whole idea of, okay, putting my money together with his money so that we can upgrade our lifestyle. I much rather would live within my husband's means. That's just me. And I am traditional in that sense. And you guys know that. And there are so many reasons why that actually benefits women. We're not going to get into those in this video. And not only does it benefit women, it benefits men, and it benefits an entire family. And that's why it has worked for us for so long, okay, in humanity. But I digress. So that is ultimately what a provider is. This is all my opinions. This is all me. This is all my thoughts. Like I said, I'm not a coach on dating and relationships, but if you do ever want my insight or my advice, of course I do like a one-on-one, almost like don't even want to call it coaching anymore, but one-on-one kind of just chit chats, or we can talk, because I have had a lot of experiences and I love to talk about these things. I love to help women. I love to share. And I love to just give insight where I can. So more info on that is definitely going to be in the description below. But I'm literally just a girl. I'm a girl on the internet sharing my thoughts. If they resonate with you and you feel like maybe I'd be able to help you, give you some words of encouragement, give you some insight, I'd be happy to talk with you, and I would love that. But ultimately, that to me is what a provider is. And providing definitely includes those basic needs. And, you know, it's just because your man is like a provider, that doesn't mean that he's going to be taking you jet setting all over the world and you guys are going to be on a yacht somewhere like every weekend. No, like that, just because a man is a provider doesn't mean that he is required to give you a certain lifestyle. Like, that is up to you. If you feel that a man that is making, let's say for instance, $50,000 a year cannot provide you the type of lifestyle that you need, don't date that man. Don't be with that man. Like I mentioned in my other video, men will make more money. Of course, everybody's gonna make more money as time goes on. But of course, we know what this economy is looking like. $50,000 a year. Of course you can do it. You can do it. Anybody can do it. There are people out there right now making $50,000 and $60,000 a year, and supporting a whole family on that income. And when I say people, I am not just talking about men. I'm talking about women and men. I worked with a woman last school year. She was a teacher, just like me, and she was making anywhere from $40,000 to $45,000 a year. She did not have a master's degree, okay? She was also not an American, okay? So she was making that amount of money and supporting her entire family. She also worked after school because she wanted to be able to afford after school activities for her son. She had a son, she had a husband. Her husband was not able to work because of paperwork issues. And that was the lifestyle that they lived, and that was how they lived. And she was stressed out, having migraines all the time, having a medley of different health issues, having to go to the doctor every other week. Miserable woman, stressed to the max because the weight of the world was on her shoulders, and she felt that. And stress from the job just translated to stress on her body, stress in her home, stress on her marriage, strain on her marriage, I should say. And of course, she's the only one who is supporting their family. Her husband, he did what he could at home, but the dynamics were completely different. And I don't think that that's what any woman or man wants. Whether you're working or not working, whether he's working, you know, and whatever the case is, I don't think that that's the dynamic that men or women truly want in their homes. But of course, to each his own, everybody makes their own decisions. But all I can say is I don't believe that that was a choice for her. I believe that she was doing that out of feeling that she didn't have an option and wanting what was best for her family, especially her son. And which was, you know, to be in America like a lot of people choose to do. Now, me personally, I don't know. Is it the best option when you are stressed out to the max, dealing with a medley of different health issues because of the stress on the job, not having job security, because at that time we were going through some weird stuff at the job. a host of different health issues and just feeling really down and not your best. You can't be your best self. You're struggling to make it from day to day. I just don't know. Is that really the best option for you when you really look at it? And that's a whole nother topic again for another day. Coming to America, immigrant life, and one day maybe I will get into that and talk about growing up first generation and different things that I, my thoughts on different things that are just common amongst children of immigrants and immigrants, Africans in diaspora and the such and the like and all of that. But all that to say, it benefits women a lot more when men do provide. It also benefits men a lot more because that's literally what they were designed to do. Okay? So when they're not doing that, they also get sick. They also have a lot of different problems that they deal with: mental health, depression, going through, so many issues just with, not feeling secure in themselves. And of course, then you look at the relationship dynamics, right? As a woman, it's very, 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 very hard to respect a man who is not providing, okay? Whether you're working or not, whether you as a woman are bringing in income into the home, it's hard. And it's damn near impossible for most of us. Even if you try, usually it doesn't come from a genuine place, so you still have the same issue on your hands. My thing, don't do it. Flat out, plain out, just don't do it. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot in my 20s, and I don't know, I'm just really, really excited to kind of like be approaching a new decade. Sooner rather than later. Okay, I haven't really shared my age too much. Maybe I have. I don't even remember. Most of the time I don't, and then some of the time I do. So who knows? But yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on providers. High earners, on the other hand, I feel like it's easy to date a high earner. They could be out here. There are a lot of men that are high earners in this world, in this society. But that doesn't mean that they're necessarily providers, that they have that mindset, that they have that value system, and they understand that providing is actually what's best for them, what's best for a woman, and what's best for the relationship in the long run, as a whole, as a total. A lot of men don't understand this, and especially because of social media and the turn that things have taken in the dating landscape, a lot of men are really like in their feelings a lot about like paying for things and different things. And it's just really unfortunate, just kind of the turn that has taken in our society when it comes to relationships and relationship dynamics. Like even in marriages, we see it a lot. And that's the main reason why I think a lot of women are getting divorced, is because they have become the sole, or, even if they're not the sole breadwinner, they are the breadwinner in the home, and they're also the ones that are doing all of the managing of the household, all of the managing of the children. Because let's just face it, like women are naturally better at those things. Women are naturally better at running a home, running a family, schedule, children, juggling all the balls. Not that men can't do it. Men can absolutely do it. Men are more than capable. Women are just, it's easier for us. It comes more naturally to us because we have always been in that role. And it has always been on the mom, and it has always been on the woman. And you can try to fight that. You can try to change that. But at the end of the day, the way that we are wired as men and women, it is the way that we are wired. And like I said, I'm not saying that, in the past, everything was all good and cheery and wonderful. Obviously, feminism had a lot of benefits. Women, and I'm grateful for feminism. Women, we benefited a lot from it. But at this point, in fourth and fifth wave, even feminism, we are encountering a lot of challenges. More challenges, I think, than progress, if you ask me. And I know that seems very triggering. I'm sure it's going to trigger some people out here. But I feel like if you like my content, you're most likely similar to me in the sense that you're a free thinker. and you don't necessarily take on a label and like agree with everything that like is discussed in that label. Like, I'm a feminist, I'm a Democrat, I'm a this, I'm a that, I follow this movement, and just like, I'm this religion, I'm that spirituality, and just take in whatever it is. Like, you kind of have to be an independent thinker and a free thinker, I feel, to like be able to kind of get to a point where you can take the meat from anything that you watch or any content that you consume and like spit out the bones, okay? My thoughts may not be for everyone, but hey, here's Nima, and this is where we talk about all those things. And I love being able to like come on and share my thoughts with you. I'm glad that I was able to come on camera and just talk more about this. I love you guys. I've been filming for like 35 minutes, so I'm gonna get off, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Bye.